could have played. I mean, the Knicks could have played better as well. They didn't have a flawless game. They struggled in the first half. They had some dumbass turnovers. Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble. Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble. So they got some things that they correct. And guess what, Stephen A? If I'm the New York Knicks, my motto is pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. Damn it, you get greedy. You get greedy. Wendy say it's a must-win in game 2. Damn it, you go in there and you try to take 2. You stay composed. You stick to your game plan. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau again for switching it up. I know it didn't seem like it was going to work in the first half. The switching of Karl-Anthony Towns on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they were getting by him, but Tom Thibodeau trusted it. He stuck with it. And guess what? When it was time to get stops in the fourth quarter, those size 21s were moving on the perimeter. Jalen Brunson, one of the worst defenders in the NBA individually, those feet were moving on the perimeter. This was the worst thing that could have happened for the Boston Celtics, is giving this New York team life. When you have a team down and they don't have belief, you keep them down. But now all of a sudden, this team got belief and they got confidence. And by the way, SA, I'm going to say this again real quick. That's the Mikal Bridges I want to see. That was the Phoenix Suns Mikal Bridges. Yeah. Not the Brooklyn Nets Mikal Bridges. I want to see the Mikal Bridges that's going to get on your ass like back pockets defensively. That was the Mikal Bridges we saw last night.
Big Perk, I appreciate the analysis, but in fairness to Wendy, since I got on him, I have to get on you too. One of the rules is no cussing. You did it twice. Don't do it again. Now, Wendy, let me get back to you. Jason Tatum, fourth quarter. What did his performance in the fourth quarter say to you, Brian Windhorst? I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself. What did it say to you?
It said he didn't want the smoke. He wanted to sit back and play soft, which I don't understand because he was playing very physical at the other end. This man had 16 rebounds. It wasn't like he wasn't getting contact. For some reason, he looked at Jalen Brunson ahead of him, who he's got 8 or 9 inches on, and he didn't attack him. It happened over and over. Hey, Perk, you're right. Jalen worked hard on defense several possessions in the fourth quarter. There was one time where I was like, wow, look at how hard he worked. But he's still giving up 8 inches. You can't bail him out by taking a step-back 3 when he's standing in front of you and the Knicks aren't bringing help. That happened repeatedly with Tatum and Brown down the stretch. You just can't do that. You got to play your advantage. The Celtics didn't do it. There was a stretch, guys, when the Celtics got a 20-point lead where they didn't even bring the ball inside the 3-point line on 7 out of 10 possessions. The ball didn't even go across the line except in the air. You can't play basketball that way.
Well, that's what they do, and that's how they play basketball. See, listen, I played with a guy by the name of Paul Pierce. They call him the Truth, a Hall of Famer, one of the best elite scorers I ever played with. When Paul Pierce's shot wasn't falling, Wendy, Stephen A., you know what Paul Pierce did a great job of doing? Getting to the free throw line, right? So that means he was in attack mode. Jason Tatum, here's the problem that I have with Tatum and Mazzulla at the same time, because he got to help him out and put him in position to be successful. Jason Tatum is 6'9", 6'10". Jason Tatum is one of the elite scorers in the game, have 0 flaws offensively, in my opinion. Why doesn't he get more post-ups? Why doesn't he get more post-ups? You run a 5-out type offense. Damn it, put his ass on the block, mid-post area. Let him go to work. And I just don't understand it for the life of me. Why have him as a ball handler running pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll? He's 6'9", 6'10" with the complete package. Put him in position, Joe Mazzulla. Get out of your ways at times when your recipe is not cooking. It doesn't taste good. Go to something else.
I'll say this couple of quick comments about Jason Tatum. Number one, he's one of the best players in the world, and he's a reigning, defending NBA champion. And he will always have my respect. He's one of the elite players in the game. But last night's performance, particularly in the fourth quarter and overtime, reminded us of the Olympics. Reminded us and gave thoughts as to why was this man sitting on the bench during Olympic competition, chosen by Steve Kerr to do so. It had you thinking about that because you heard how he was looking in practice and stuff like that. You certainly saying to yourself, if he's looking like that in practice, you know, even though you still find yourself saying you should have found a way to play him.
And it's just like my grandma used to say, you know, old people, certain people are just stuck in their ways. And that's the Boston Celtics. And I kept saying to myself, in the first half, you had so much success driving to the paint. Karl Anthony Towns, Tibbs finally came out of the drop coverage. They were switching pick and rolls, and they was attacking. And then all of a sudden, you watch the Celtics. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum alone went 10 for 41 from three. And I look at Jason Tatum, and I say to myself, at what point, as a guy that's striving to be great, right, already in the Celtics record book for certain, you know, stats and numbers, you know, the leader of this team, that you're going to put some pressure not only on the defense, but on the officials. I played with Paul Pierce, one of the most underrated players that doesn't get praised enough, right? And Paul, when his shot wasn't falling, he would get to the basket. He would get to the free throw line. Listen, if the Celtics are going to continue to hang their hats on shooting three-point shots in this series without attacking the paint, especially with Tom Thibodeau having a big switch on the pick and rolls, they're going to lose this series. I'm telling you straight up. They're going to lose this series.
It is defiance, right? Isn't that the term you used earlier, Wendy? They tend to be defiant when people bring it up, and maybe last night, especially in that soundbite we heard from Tatum, maybe a little more conciliatory in recognition that there were probably better ways for them to try and go about it.
Yeah, and even Joe Mazzulla, who defended the process, said, well, there might have been 8 to 10 ones that we regret. I mean, Mazzulla saying 8 to 10 that they regret is a significant move than what I've heard in the past when they've had bad shooting nights. Where I think there's got to be a reevaluation here is there were plenty of times where the Celtics ran good offense, where they hunted the matchup that they wanted and got it, where Tatum was on Jalen Brunson or on Karl Towns. They want that, and he bailed them out by taking a bad shot. It wasn't that part of the process was working. It was that execution. And the strange thing is, I actually thought Tatum played a physical game last night. He had 16 rebounds. Tatum is an excellent rebounder. He was going in there and fighting to get the boards, going to the other end and just looking to avoid contact. An unusual performance, especially when the game was on the line.
Jay, well, talk me through this again as one who has been out there on the floor and